Are you sick and tired of hearing advice from people and none of those advice actually works for you? My name is Xuan Xuan and I'm an executive coach from Singapore. I support leaders to become more effective in their leadership by growing the agile mindset. In this video, I'm going to share with you why I don't give people unsolicited advice. Now, unsolicited advice is really not a good thing to give because the receiver is not ready to receive anything that you are trying to tell. No matter how good your intention is, I think you might encounter situations where you give that unsolicited advice and people get angry, and there's a reason for that. When we give advice to people, we are basically telling people to follow what I have done and things will work out fine. The thing is, we can't actually guarantee that following our advice will ensure that they are successful because everybody's context will be different. And there is also one part that we are not honoring. We are not honoring the uniqueness of the individuals who we are working with. We are assuming that this person requires help with no regard for whether this person wants help or not, or is even ready for help or not. And one thing which I think gets people really upset is there is the underlying assumption that you cannot think, and hence that's why I have to give you unsolicited advice. So then the right way for us to tackle situations where we really feel that we want to give unsolicited advice is do not give advice unless they ask you for it. And how can you make that happen? You could now start communicating with the other person and get that person to be ready, to be curious to receive messages by asking the right questions. For example, even just by noticing and observing something that's happening to that person will help tremendously. For example, if I see my peer who is very upset, I might say something like, "You look really upset. What is happening?" And those are usually good enough for you to open up a conversation and for the person to start sharing what is really happening. And when that happens, that person might ask you for your advice, and then there is a much better time for you to then share what you might do in those situations. But bear in mind, never dictate nor assume that you know how to solve the problem. You may still want to qualify it. Now, this is what I did and it worked for me. You might want to try it, and you always give that ownership and the choice back to the person, because then that advice will really stick much better.